So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the DUP still mad over the Northern Ireland Protocol. So this article was from the 18th of December and is before Lord Frost actually resigned and was replaced by Liz Truss. And it would make Liz Truss's kind of more hardline stance on the Northern Ireland Protocol make sense. You know, she's going for the old Frost manoeuvre, and we're doing this kind of covering the Liz Truss stuff in a separate video. But you know, she says we must pick up on peace talks in the new year. Our preference remains to reach an agreement. If this does not happen, we remain prepared to trigger Article 16 to deal with the real problems faced in Northern Ireland, to protect the Good Friday Agreement, blah 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 blah, all that rubbish, which we'll talk about in a separate video. But we go back to my favourite party, the Desperate Unionist Party. So, the government's retreat from its hardline position in negotiations with the EU over Brexit arrangements in Northern Ireland has elicited a furious response from the most senior Unionists in the House of Lords. Now, it's interesting to see Liz Truss has gone back to the old Frost playbook of listen to us or we will use Article 16. Frost had to walk away from that, and Liz Truss has kind of gone back and said, actually, no, I'm going to dust off, Liz Cut and Paste Trust, as people call her, has gone back to the old playbook and pulled out the Article 16 nuclear option. So, Lord Dodds, the former deputy leader of the Desperate Unionist Party, has issued a veiled threat of action unless it restores the option of pulling the plug on the Northern Ireland Protocol by using Article 16 process. And the question is, what are these guys going to do? Because unless they start instigating violence in Northern Ireland, which, I'm not going to put it past some of these geezers to do that, right? What are you going to do? Collapse Stormont? You're not going to do that. There's an election in May. That's not going to happen. So what other options do you have apart from tough talk? Every day that passes with the protocol in place is another day which sees Northern Ireland and Great Britain move further apart. This is unsustainable. I mean, this is like when Vegeta says to Goku, every breath you take is an assault on my honour. It's not that deep. If the UK government can't or won't act, then unionism will and soon. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, my guy? What's your plan here? Because you've been talking big. You guys have been talking big all year. Arlene Foster, then she had to go. Then you got Donaldson talking big, and now he's like, oh, I'm really angry. He's like the meme of the guy sat in the corner saying, they don't know that I'm going to do something. Come on then. If the UK government can't or won't act, blah, blah, blah. He was responding to the reports that the UK had dropped its demands for the removal of the role of the European Court of Justice from the Northern Ireland Protocol. So this was when Frost did it initially, and then very quickly after that, Frost resigned. It's very interesting. Downing Street has conceded that week that it will prioritise removing barriers to trade between Great Britain and Northern Ireland over other constitutional issues that have bedeviled the talks. Talks will be suspended until after Christmas, but instead of the Iceman going there, it's going to be Liz Truss. So, a government source said they will be seeking an interim solution on customs and physical checks on food that have proved a barrier to domestic trade and have seen 200 businesses stopped delivering to Northern Ireland because of the amounts of customs checks and things like that. But the EU are willing to make changes regarding medicines and making it so any medicines found in GB or made in GB can go to NI, which does breach part of EU rules. They are looking at reducing customs checks and things like that for goods going from GB to NI. The only problem is, as the UK looks to start, deregulating more, that's going to cause further problems. The change in tack has infuriated Dodds and others, including Lady Hoey. I mean, how she got in the House of Lords is beyond me. Who was fighting to get the protocol removed in the courts of Belfast, which they're not having much luck doing. Dodd said it was now abundantly clear that the proposals were being dragged out with little prospect of an outcome which meets the bar. I mean, a lot of people are saying this is kabuki theatre, where they already have the solutions and everything agreed in principle. It's just they're pretending to drag this out, or at least the UK are, to kind of make it look like a much better deal than it is. So that was set by Lord Frost's command paper in July, and the problem is, the command paper in July, I think it called for a massive renegotiation of the deal, which was never going to happen. I mean, in the end, Lord Frost accepted that the current EU Commission has no mandate to renegotiate the Northern Ireland Protocol. So again, we're going back over, old ground here, which laid out the UK's demands for a radical rewriting of the protocol. I mean, this is like, hitting season 3 or something, and then them doing the exact same thing as they did in season 1. Like, just we've gone through this already. You're boring me now. He accused the UK of falling into line with the EU's timeline and of retreating from its commitment to trigger Article 16. Like, bro, like, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? We trigger Article 16, right? Goods go from GB to NI with no problems. There's going to be a border put up somewhere. You can't put it in the island of Ireland because that breaks the Good Friday Agreement, and that's how you unleash a Pandora's box that you don't want to see again. No one in Europe, no one in the world wants to see the troubles in Northern Ireland, except maybe some desperate Unionists, maybe. So it's not going on the island of Ireland, and then you're going to put it in the Irish Sea around Ireland and separate that from the rest of the EU. That's not going to happen. So again, your only option is either the UK GB rejoins the EU's customs market and single union for goods, or we have the current situation we have now. He also said Frost had pulled back from an earlier negotiating position that all barriers to the supply of medicines from GB to NI should be removed, but the EU are looking at getting rid of those checks. So again, like, bro, like, what do you want, honestly? These guys are so unreasonable. In a more nuanced statement issued on that Saturday morning, the head of the DUP, Donaldson, said the party had been patient whilst negotiations have continued. You haven't, but you have to be patient though. You don't have a choice. Like, you're not one of the big dogs in this negotiation, even though the Northern Ireland Protocol directly impacts Northern Ireland, which, you know, is unfair on the people of Northern Ireland, in my opinion. You know, they have done well because they are still in the EU single market for goods, and it has benefited them economically massively. But yes, it was imposed on them, but it was imposed by the government that so many people, or at least some people in Northern Ireland, want to stick to. The Westminster government, they have imposed rules on Northern Ireland. And if they're not a fan of that, then, you know, that's up to them to figure out. But again, you know, Donaldson saying I've been patient while this continued is like, yeah, bro, that's your only option. Like, you're relying on Westminster to come up with a solution to a problem they created in the first place. Like, dude, like, let's be real here. But in the absence of the EU's willingness to agree to the removal of the entirely unnecessary barriers to trade on the Irish Sea, that's Donaldson's words, not mine, it is essential that the government takes decisive action at the beginning of the year to restore Northern Ireland's place in the UK. And the thing is, like, entirely unnecessary, like, what do you mean? Like, we're a third country now. You know, there has to be rules of origin checks and other things in case tariffs have to go on goods going from GB to NI. Especially with the UK constantly threatening to deregulate, that's going to make the need for further checks to happen. So this guy Donaldson doesn't understand a lot. Then again, he thinks the Earth is like 5,000 years old or something. Who knows? Early in the week, Dodds told the House of Lords that the delicate balance of relationship across these islands have been trashed as a result of the Northern Ireland Protocol. No, it's been trashed as a result of Brexit. The Northern Ireland Protocol is a product of Brexit, but no, it's been trashed as a product of Brexit. And let's not forget which party in Northern Ireland supported Brexit. It was the Democratic Unionist Party, aka the DUP. So let's try not be cute here, my friend. It's very obvious who's to blame here. It's the Tory party. Who started this whole mess? It was them. So anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Things might have changed with Liz Truss and her making them false promises and things like that. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.